Friends, good morning. It's great to be with you this morning. Welcome to any guests or visitors we got with us this morning here at St. Bart's. It's good to have you here with us as we celebrate the 12th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And happy Father's Day to all dads out there, grandfathers, godfathers, spiritual fathers. It's great to be with you celebrating Father's Day. So anyway, this Father's Day weekend has taken on an entirely different feel for me. I'll tell you why. So this past Thursday, got a letter in the mail, piece of mail. Indulge me for a moment. I'm going to read a few lines. Don't worry, it's not a paternity test result. So that'd be awkward. Okay, so anyway, it's like Maury Povich up here. You are the father. Anyway, dear Father Schultz, after proper consultation, I hereby conclude your assignment as administrator of St. Bartholomew Parish, Middleburg Heights, and appoint you pastor of St. Bartholomew Parish. This appointment will become effective 15 July 2026. You are also so very handsome. I don't know, he goes on from there, a lot of that stuff. So anyway, no, I got this letter from the bishop on Thursday, opened it Friday. Holy cow, I'm humbled, I'm thrilled, I'm terrified, I'm exhilarated, I'm every kind of emotion. You know, I think there's something like, dads, it must feel like there's something to this that, like, I imagine when your wife, when she was expecting your first baby, when like that moment came when she's like, I think my water broke, it's time to go, and you're just like adrenaline pumping through the body, like seriously, like this is happening, right? That's kind of what I'm feeling. Like, you know this is coming, right? But it's like, holy smokes, this is really happening. It's like the episode from The Office. I don't know, some of you, I'm going to lose you already, but then when Michael Scott, they're doing the fire drill, that's kind of what this is. Like, this is not a drill. Anyway, some of you just totally checked out. Anyway, so if you were at the Called to the Table event that we had a few weeks back for our soon-to-be seminarians, John and Kyle, I shared briefly the story. I just want to share that again. So when a pastorate is opened up in the diocese, when a parish needs a new pastor, this is how it works. They send out an email blast to all the priests in the diocese, a notification kind of announcing it with some basic statistics on a sheet saying, you know, such and such number of parishes or households and this number of baptisms, funerals, does it have a school, staff, those sorts of things. And they say if you'd like to apply, submit your CV and cover letter by, you know, this date. And so I was in Lakewood at my previous assignment in Lakewood, and I had no interest in applying anywhere. I was not looking to apply anywhere, and so I got the email, I read the email, and I promptly ignored it, right? I had never even heard of St. Bart's. I had never been to St. Bart's, and I'm like, I don't even know where Middleburg Heights is, right? So anyway, about a week later, my buddy, Father Damien Ferentz, he sent me a screenshot of the posting, and in all caps, he just said, you should apply to this. And I did what any, you know, ornery spiritual son does when his spiritual father and mentor tells him to do anything. I ignored him. So a week goes by, you know, a week or so goes by, and then I get an email in my inbox. It's also from Father Damien. He's CCing me on an email. He's responding to one of his grade school teachers who's a parishioner here, Miss Linda Chambers. She was at Mass last night. Anyway, she had emailed him asking him to apply for the pastorate. And he very kindly responded and said, you know, thank you so much, but because of my current position, my role as vicar for evangelization, I'm unable to do so, but I have strongly encouraged a former teen of mine and a priest in the diocese, Father Patrick Schultz, to apply, and I hope he applies, and if he applies, I think you'll be happy, he'll be happy. And I was ticked. I'm like, how, you're involving other people in your manipulation scheme? So I called him. I said, okay, tell me why. What's your reasons? And he started listing some reasons, and they were good reasons. And honestly, something like just shifted in me, and I began to pray about it, and I prayed hard about it. And so again, like a week or so later, I was celebrating daily Mass at St. Luke's in Lakewood. And, you know, daily Mass crowd, those are the folks you kind of get closest to as a priest because you just see them every day. And I'm looking out at the congregation of all these folks, and I felt in my heart this, like, yeah, I really do love you, and I love being your priest, and I love serving you, but the reality is you're not mine. Like, you're Father Kevin's, right? And this movement happened in my heart where I was like, I want to look out at a congregation, and I want to be able to say, like, you are mine, and I'm yours. Like, I'm responsible for you. Like, I didn't want to just be the spiritual uncle, parochial vicar guy, in perpetuity. I wanted to be the dad. So, yeah. So I decided to come visit St. Bart's. I wanted to just see the place, lay my eyes on the place. So I drove over here one day. I don't know what day it was. And I parked over there, came around, and I came in the back doors. I sat in the very, very last spot in the corner of this section in the very back. Father Leo was celebrating a funeral here. And I sat down, and it was a wild experience because I felt like even though I hadn't yet seen any of your faces or knew any of your names or your stories or your families or walked with any of you in any capacity, like I was just already taken by you and this parish. And I just quietly said to the Lord, Lord, if you want this for me, I want it too. And very loudly, the Lord said in my spirit, no, Patrick, that's not how this works. What do you want? And I said, Lord, I want this. And so I went home, back to the rectory in Lakewood, and I sat down, hurriedly put together my CV, my cover letter. I was already like a few weeks way past the deadline. I'm like, I don't know if this is even going to happen, but I submitted it, and it was Tuesday of Holy Week. I get the the phone call from Father Joe Mamich telling me, he said, Patrick, the bishop would like to assign you as the administrator of St. Bartholomew. And then I had to go to the Chrism Mass, so I was going to be with every other priest of the diocese, and I was supposed to keep this secret to myself. I mostly did, okay? So this past year, so it was a year on June 10th. I started June 10th, and this past year, it's been incredible. It's been incredibly beautiful, incredibly challenging. It's been one of the hardest and most glorious years for sure of my priesthood. It has been amazing. I have loved being your priest, and I'm also particularly grateful, like for all of the people, all of the names, all of the faces of all the people that I've been privileged to serve over the years, and all my previous assignments, who, like, loving them has formed my heart and has prepared me for this. So I have a dear young friend who he and his wife, they just became parents back in February. I got to celebrate their wedding, and he celebrated his first Father's Day this year, and it's been awesome watching them become parents. But his mom captured a video of David, the dad, in the hospital right after his little boy was born, and it's one of the most adorable videos of all time. He's holding his son, newborn son, and he's just like whispering over his son, telling him all the things they're going to do together. Right? He's saying things like, we're going to watch nature documentaries, and we're going to watch Bob Ross videos, and we're going to go on adventures, and it's adorable. And anyway, that video came to mind when I got this letter, reflecting on this, because man, oh man, like I too have so many dreams and so many big desires for us as a parish, as a family, and Jesus. As big as my dreams are, Jesus is dreaming bigger. He has even bigger desires, bigger dreams for us in this parish. I want to read something, a section from the letter that I wrote when I applied to St. Bart's, the letter that I wrote to the bishop. I wrote this. I said, finally, my draw to St. Bartholomew Parish is the patron himself. Right, that guy, right there, the guy with the knife in hand. The patron himself, his story, and his martyrdom. We encounter Nathanael, or Bartholomew, in the first chapter of John's Gospel. When Jesus saw Nathanael approaching, he said of him, "Here truly is an Israelite, in whom there is no deceit." "How do you know me?" Nathanael asked. Jesus answered, "I saw you while you were still under the fig tree before Philip called you." Then Nathanael declared, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." Jesus said, "You believe because I told you. I saw you under the fig tree. You will see greater things than that." He then added, Very truly I tell you, you will see heaven opened and the angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man." So Nathanael, Bartholomew, as a faithful Jew, what was he doing under that fig tree? He was enacting, embodying the messianic prophecy that we read about in Micah chapter 4. In a word, this was a man of deep faith, with a heart filled with longing, aching for the fulfillment of God's promises. This is my heart too, a heart that aches and longs for so much, but mostly to see Christ's bride, beautiful and radiant, absolutely yes, but mostly dormant and asleep, to see her come alive and awaken to the reality of her bridegroom's invitation. I want to step into Bartholomew's place filled with eager expectation to see the wonders of God happen for his people at this parish, to see the heavens opened and grace poured down. Finally, it's also his martyrdom. Bartholomew's gruesome martyrdom stands before me as a challenge and as a call, hearkening back to the words that Bishop said to me at my own ordination. Kneeling before him, he said, "Conform your life to the mystery of the Lord's cross." While it's true I stumble and fall and fail overwhelmingly, I'm encouraged by the hope held out in Christ who works through my weaknesses. I desire to be the kind of pastor who inspires a martyr's faith in the hearts of his people, because this is a faith worth living for. This is a faith worth dying for. Those words that I wrote then are just exponentially, infinitely more true today than they were even then. Like that notion of a martyr's faith, that's what Jesus is talking about in this gospel that we just heard from Matthew 10. He's preparing his apostles after some months of ministry together. He's preparing them for their first missionary journey, and they're scared. We know they're scared because he says to them, "Fear no one." He says, "Be not afraid," several times. They were afraid. They were deeply afraid. They were afraid to step into their greatness, to step into their call to be his apostles, to be his missionaries, to be his agents of sabotage in the world, blowing up the kingdom of darkness, rescuing the captives, rescuing those who are held in bondage to the enemy, healing the sick, raising the dead, bringing hope, bringing light into the darkness. They were afraid. And what does he say to them? He says, "What I say to you, what I've been saying to you in the darkness, speak in the light. What you've heard me whisper, I want you to proclaim on the housetops. Get public, in other words." And he says, "Do not be afraid of those who kill the body. Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but who cannot kill the soul. They cannot touch your soul. They cannot touch your heart." They were afraid to step out with Christ into the open, because to step out with Christ into the open is to step into opposition and resistance. It's to invite suffering. It's to invite opposition. It's to invite pain. It's to be rejected, all of these things. But he's telling them, do not be afraid of that. Do not be afraid of that. That's what I want to tell us. Friends, I'm here as your priest only because of the love and mercy of Jesus. I'm here only because of the love and mercy of Jesus. If I'm an expert in anything, I'm an expert in my own sinfulness and his own mercy. And I've tasted it, I've experienced it, and it's a love that relativizes everything else in life. It's a love that makes martyrdom possible. That sacrifice of that man is unintelligible and stupid if it weren't for the truth of the gospel, the reality of Jesus' love. And friends, I pledge to you, as much as I can, I pledge that I will love you as hard as I can and as best I can in all the ways that I can, in and through the absolute earthen vessel of my humanity. So what? So that you can also come to know the one who hung the stars for you and who hung upon the cross for you, who bled and died for you, who rose from the grave from you, so that you can know the healing, transforming love of the gospel, that it's not just a set of ideas to have in your worldview, but it is an invitation into the transformation of Jesus unto glory unimaginable, that this faith of ours is more beautiful than you can imagine, that it touches our lives in ways that you can't fathom, that he's aching in every moment of your life to heal, to redeem, to free, to magnify, to set on fire your life, your marriage, your vocation, everything about you. That he's not content for a mere casual relationship. He's not looking for admirers. He's looking for followers. He's looking for sons and daughters and disciples. That's what I want, because that's what he wants. I just pray that all of us, like St. Bartholomew, that we would be fearless and dauntless in sharing the gospel, sharing Jesus with as many people as possible, so that as many people as possible, so that we included, can come to know the healing, transforming love and mercy of our Lord. To know this faith and to know this love that moved the martyrs to lay down their lives like it was nothing, to lay claim to something that's infinitely beautiful, infinitely more. So this letter, he says that it's effective, this pastorate, this assignment becomes effective July 15th. And the installation mass, all of that's to be determined. But like what I'm going to ask you is I'm going to ask you for your prayers. I'm going to ask you for your prayers, that because the only thing I want is to be a good priest for you. I want to be a great dad to this parish. I want to spend myself for you. I just want what Jesus wants for this parish. Amen.